Happy Tuesday and welcome back to the Wolff Den presented by Win Again Academy. Mark Moyer doing some great things with his In the Club Room networking events. Got another one tonight at 7 p.m. with Jerome the Junkyard Williams. Going to talk some NIL. Check out winagainacademy.com for more information. I am founder and CEO of Ticket Time Machine, Matt Wolff. Today is our guest, Adam Barron of the Delray Beach Open. Adam, great to have you on here.
Oh, thanks, Matt. Nice to be here. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you. We have a history of that we won't get into because the show is too short here, but we'll.
It's a good history, though. I don't want people thinking it's like something bad happened.
No, it's a good history that brought us together, and we're going to talk tennis today. There's a lot going on in the tennis world, but tell everybody, I guess, who you are and what you do.
Yeah, thanks. Good to be here. I'm with the Delray Beach Open by Vitacost.com men's ETP professional tennis tournament. Next year, actually, banner year marking our 30th anniversary. So we're very excited about that. Especially, by then COVID will be a thing of the past, and we're just really excited to welcome back all the fans, full capacity, and we're just excited, gearing up.
You have a history of tennis. You weren't always working in tennis, but you grew up a tennis player. What was that like? How good were you? What dreams did you have? I know your family has a history of tennis. The Delray Beach Open is a family affair. So talk about what tennis means to you and your family.
Wow, that's a loaded question right there. Tennis is basically everything to us. Grew up. My brother and I have two brothers, older brother and a younger brother, and we were involved in all sports. And then my mom played at the public courts some tennis, and so we put a tennis racket in my brother's hands, and he was a natural. At the age of 10, started playing national level tournaments. So of course he's my older brother, so I want to do everything that he's doing. So I started playing tennis, along with baseball, other sports, but tennis was just a natural sport for us, and we just loved it, just everything about it. And then played throughout the junior events, throughout our junior career. My brother was one of the top juniors in the world, actually number one in the world in juniors tennis before he went pro. I was okay. I was 2 in the nation in tennis, but not one in the world. And then, went to college on a tennis scholarship. And then my father actually started the tournament 30 years ago. So, we own and operate the tournament, Delray Beach Open, and we like to keep it that family vibe, if you will, very intimate feeling and a big stage, basically. So in a nutshell, tennis has been a part of us forever. And I can't imagine doing anything else but running a tennis event. And, we also operate several top-level junior tournaments as well throughout the year. So tennis, it seems like I'm running an event every day. I see my family sometimes, but other than that, yeah.
Florida's usually good weather enough to play tennis year-round, so it's a good environment. Did Ivan is the older brother?
Yes, Ivan. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Did he ever play in the Delray Beach Open?
He has. He played when he was. He was on the tour. He was on tour for about 6 years. He actually played at that time. The tournament was in Coral Springs. It started with a tournament in Coral Springs called the Red Clay Championships before moving to Delray. But he actually played. I remember I was in college, it was like 93, 94. He played. He got a wild card in the tournament. I don't know how he got that, but he got my father granted him a wild card, and he had to play the number 1 seed first round. Magnus Larsson, who was number 11 in the world at the time, and he actually beat him. So, as a tournament director, my father's like, "Oh gosh, the number 1 seed just lost," but his son beat him, so he was pretty happy about that. But it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I love tennis, especially watching the early rounds of these tournaments. If I come to the Delray Beach Open, which, as you mentioned, is very intimate. The Miami, I'm not even sure what the heck they call it in Miami Open. Now is moved kind of corporate to the Dolphin Stadium. But we used to go back in the day when it was in Key Biscayne and just kind of walk around. It's a great environment, and there's a lot of people from all over the world. So How do you, what really goes into planning the events with regards to who's going to show up? How much of it depends on who's going to show up? What do you try and do with, to make the fans experience better? And maybe a down year when some of the big players don't show up.
Yeah, it's a year to year basically. I mean, every year we want to go bigger and better. So attendance has been, we break records every year. It's always about the fan experience too. So you want to keep up with the times. Went to mobile ticketing a few years ago, so something like that. And then with tickets, as far as you were concerned, people like to have those tickets in hand as well. And so there's a lot of different things. The aspect of fan experience with the food, the parties, if you will, the players. So the players, number one, is that's number one. I mean, you have a big player, people want to come and watch them. So that's one thing. But then as far as what they do on site, the food, the beverage, the parties. So it's a twofold thing. There's a lot of the things that go in it. Yeah.
Yeah, and some of that's out of your control, obviously, with player schedules, injuries, schedule. It all depends. But you guys have had some pretty good, top level players coming, and especially in the doubles world, which is now going to change, right? The Bryan brothers, which is a big draw for you, are not playing anymore, correct? Have they retired?
They retired. Our tournament in 2020, right before the pandemic hit and everything got shut down, that was their last tournament they played ever. And they won the event that year. And they never played another pro event as well since then. And then in this past year, we actually, we were in Florida, so we were able to have the event, luckily. And it was in January, but they played our Champions Tour. So that was very exciting for them to come back in a different capacity, more of a fun feel, but, playing some of the, bigger players like, Tommy Haas, from back then, and the Jensen brothers played as well. But yeah, the Bryan brothers were pretty much a staple for many, many years playing our tournament. And they're just great guys and, legends of the game. And they probably still can win if they played on the tour, which is unbelievable, what they've done in the past.
Yeah, to be able to play for so long in that type of environment is impressive. The Champions Tour, is that where Coco played last year or 2 years?
No, we actually so our event's 2 and 1. So the opening weekend is the Champions Tour. So the legends, seniors, or we don't call them seniors. So it's part of the ATP Champions Tour. So that's opening weekend, and then on Monday is the start of the ATP Tour. So it's the current players. But we did a special event a couple years ago where we had an exhibition with Coco. So that was just an exhibition. First time we ever had females playing the tournament because it's a men's professional tournament. So that was the first time, which was great. Coco being from Delray Beach was unbelievable seeing her there. And everyone came out in drones to watch her play. And now, she's in the quarterfinals of the French Open and has a very, very good chance of winning the whole thing right now. So it's exciting to watch her play and with the whole Delray, vibe, if you will. But
yeah, wide open. My sister's a huge French Open fan. She's been she missed last year because of the pandemic, but I think she was at the 3 before, and she'll be back again. Have you ever been to the French Open or any of the majors outside of the U.S.?
Yeah, I've never been to the French Open. My brother obviously on tour, he played all the majors, but obviously been to the U.S. Open many, many times. And then got to go to Wimbledon when my brother was playing. I traveled with him as his last year on tour. So I was able to, stay in the Wimbledon Village for a couple of weeks and then tour with him over in Europe for the summer. Very unique experience back in the, late 90s, late 90s? Yeah, late 90s, basically. So it was pretty cool. But no, I've never been Australian. Definitely would love to go there. I'm sure that's amazing. I heard it's unbelievable. And I've never been to the French Open, but would definitely love to go to both of those.
Yeah, either one would be great. I'd love to get to Wimbledon too. What's the biggest difference between a tournament that has men and women's and yours, which is just men's? The Miami Open is like one of the largest ones that have both. That's not a major, so it's not that common to have them.
No, it's not. Yeah, a lot of the some of the 500. So we're level 250, and then you have 500 and the thousands are like the Miami Open and like the Indian Wells. So a lot of the 1,000, the Masters series, if you will, are combined, women's and men's. It's really facilities. Very, very few, if not any, level 250s or 500s have men's combined with women's. Most of the tournaments are separate. The women's tour is the women's tour, the men's WTA is WTA, men's ATP. So they have their own tour, have their own schedule. But then with those others, the Miami Open, as well as like Indian Wells, they'll have a combined, it's really facilities and then the schedule of the tour. So it's not out of the realm of having a WTA tournament with us. But as of right now, we're just like every other 250, we're a men's ATP event. But there's a lot that goes into it. I mean, you need just think about it. I mean, they need their own locker room, their own dressing schedule. Now you're adding double hotel rooms. Everything, prize money, sponsors, everything that goes with it.
It would probably have to move locations, right? You don't have enough area where you're at right now, or?
No, I mean, anything's doable. It's just a matter of adding the facilities. I mean, it's upgrading or building another locker room. So it's I mean, it's definitely doable. Anything's doable.
South Florida is rich with female tennis personalities like Coco and back in the day Jennifer Capriati. So I think it might be a good fit somewhere down the road. Is there any? How do you get from a 250 to a 500? Is that something you guys look to do, or just kind of organically happens?
Yeah, I mean, not really. I mean, there's a whole. Prize money. It's just really the prize money. The difference is prize money and the points that you get. So if you win our tournament, you get 250 points. If you win a 500, you get 500 points. That's really what it comes down to. But I mean, there's a whole. I wouldn't even know where to start as far as what it takes to be a 500. Nor would we want to really just talk about being a 500. Because it's really the tour has their own schedule. So you can't just say, "Oh, I want to be 500," and then okay, I'll pay the extra money, and that's it. It doesn't really work like that. So I don't know, honestly. I can't even tell you how it works in order to become a 500. I know every year the tour is always talking about shifting the dates, shifting calendars, in the future and so forth. But So I mean, and that doesn't mean that we won't be a 500 in the future. Or have a WTA in the future. There's so many different variables. Yeah.
There is my friend Brent, who he's a Gator. He says he might have played with you at the Polsky house.
Possibly. I'm so bad with names. Hi, Brent. How you doing? I think I played Adam a bit. Hopefully, I didn't throw any rackets when we played, but or say anything bad. But yeah.
Yeah, he was a tennis player back in the day. So you got February 11th next year, 2022. It's your 30th anniversary.
Yep.
Is everything planned already? Or you're still in the planning? Do you have the players? When do they announce?
Nothing yet. We usually sign a few players before our tickets start going on sale. And individual tickets usually go on sale in August. That's when we make our push during the U.S. Open. When things are really exciting in the United States, leading up to the U.S. Open with the U.S. Open Series, a lot of tournaments in the United States. That's when most of them are here. And then, we'll know a few players who have signed up for the tournament. But the final list is 6 weeks before the draw is made. So the draw is made a day before the tournament. But the entry list is provided to us. We can players sign up. The ones that anybody can sign up to play, and then it's based on ranking who gets in. So by then we should know who's going on. But as far as is it planned yet? No, no. It's a lot that goes into it. I'm sure people don't have to know what it takes to put on an event. It's just and if it looks easy, that means we're doing our job.
Yeah.
So we're always trying to come up with new, especially the 30th anniversary. come up with some fun new ideas. Bigger parties, bigger events. The fan experience, if you will. That's what, as you mentioned before, it's all about the fan experience. What can we give the fan that makes, because there's so many different things to do nowadays. And okay, I'm spending my money. I want to have a good time. So, yeah.
A good area for that, for the parties and some, tie-ins and
Delray is not
downtime.
Downtown. I mean, it's just amazing what's going on in Delray. It's unbelievable. I mean, just come to the event, have some drinks, have some fun, have a nosh, see some amazing tennis right up close and personal, right in your face. Watch a 130-mile-an-hour serve almost hit you, and then leave, walk right a block away, and you're on the avenue and have a good time.
Yeah, tons to do.
Yeah.
What can you do, or what do you attempt to do to get the Federers and the Nadals of the world, the top tennis players to show up? I mean, it's Florida, so that's enticing in some respects. But what have you seen that has worked?
Well, with our level of tournament, a lot of it comes down to appearance fees. So you can only imagine what a Nadal or a Federer, but that doesn't mean it's out of the realm. So we've had some amazing players play, our event, a lot of top, former number ones, Agassi's played, Hewitt, Roddick, James Blake, Del Potro, just name a few, Ronich, Isner. I mean, so we've had some top level players play our tournament. At this stage, I don't envision a Nadal playing our tournament next year. I mean, we are on hard court, so there's always another tournament that's on clay at the same time in near his home country. So that's a little tough. But and then with the tour, the players always look at their schedule and see, pick and choose, especially the ones that have been playing for a while, like a Nadal or Federer, and they can pick and choose their own. A lot of them are concentrated on the big Grand Slam stage and setting up their schedule to play those.
And that kind of ties in a little bit with sponsorship and the biz dev that you do. Is it possible to get a sponsor to say, hey, we want to bring this person in and they pay for it? I mean, or does that drive any of it? Does that happen?
Yeah, I mean, I guess so, sure. But at the end of the day, it's a dollars and cents sort of thing sometimes. So I've never really envisioned that route, or has a sponsor come to us and say, hey, we want Nadal to play. We'll give you whatever, I don't know, $1 million. I don't know how much he charges, but so
a lot.
Yeah, so and then that doesn't mean that he would still play. I mean, you can offer somebody, does Nadal need $2 million, $500,000? I don't know. 250? Does he? So that's an interesting question. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just interesting to know when for the smaller events, the 250, and why does someone show up? It's or why don't they? You see Federer pulled out of the French Open here, but then he also pulled out of the warm up before Wimbledon, which that's tough when you have something like that lined up, and it doesn't even have to be Federer. It could be anyone who because there's a lot of fan favorites who are not the number top 5 players.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, and you look at that, like the tournament, the warm up. I don't know if I didn't see that he withdrew from that tournament before Wimbledon, but I think it's how he always plays that. But think about the tournament director. I mean, they announced months ago that Federer, he's like, hey, I'm playing. I mean, think about the tickets they've sold and marketing him and everything, and then a week before he pulls out. It's like, okay,
how do you handle that?
We've been doing it for a very long time. It's happened to us. We've had, marketed a player for a whole year, signed them in, July, and then a week before they get injured, and hey, I can't play. You just roll with the punches, and the next man up. So it's lucky loser, or if they withdraw before the draw is made, then it's the next ranked player that goes in the draw, and then so you try and put the next marquee player in that spot if you can. Sometimes it happens an hour before. Player comes in your office. I hurt myself practicing. I can't play. You're like, we had that experience. Was it 5 years ago? I believe. I'm trying to think of it. 4 years ago, where for the finals, it happened. An hour before the match, Milos Raonic was playing Jack Sock, and Milos was, I believe, was number 4 in the world at the time. And he, in the night before, he had played Del Potro. Amazing match, semifinals. I mean, it was just unbelievable. It was rocking. It was awesome match. And then he ended up winning Raonic. And then the next day, he came in our office about an hour before the match. Finals, Sunday finals, packed house. I'm injured. I injured my groin. I can't play. It's like, okay, what do we do now? No finals. So that was a tough day, but we just.
Did you play an exhibition? Was there someone on?
We did. We actually. Jack was really, really nice and agreed to go out there and do like an exhibition. I believe Jesse Levine, one of our good friends that lives in the area, ex-pro, played at Florida. Actually, you're on the line, so you probably heard of Jesse. He was an all-time great at Florida. He came out and we called him, "Hey Jesse, can you come here?" And he came out and did an exhibition. The fans happy. I don't know, but we gave back to the fans the next year. We offered them tickets for the next year's tournament. Anyone that bought tickets for the finals. So, yeah, something like that. I mean, weather, player getting injured, it's completely out of your control. So we just, but we don't hide anything. I mean, like right when we found out, we're like, okay, we have to put a sign up. Anyone that buys a ticket has to know that the finals match has been canceled. And then we made an announcement in the stadium, but things like that happen. It's very rare for a final. I think it's only happened maybe 5 times ever in the history of tennis. But so that was an interesting day. Let's put it that way.
Obviously, the Bryan brothers were fan favorites. Is there anyone over the years who've become fan favorites that have appeared a ton that just the fans just react well to?
One of the main guys really is Juan Martín Del Potro. He's for some reason he loves Delray. He won our event in 2011 when after he won the U.S. Open. He came back after his wrist surgery. He decided Delray was his first event back, and then since then he's had a couple injuries, and then he would always make his comeback at the Delray Open, his first tournament, and he's just a class act, one of the top guys, and obviously like a McEnroe, playing the Champions Tour, when he comes out, people love that. But so a couple of those guys, and then you have the Americans, Roddick back in the day, but the Bryan brothers definitely are just, they are such class acts and such entertainers, if you will. I mean, it is a sport, but they know how to react to the crowd. That sign the autographs, deal with the kids. Such great guys. Yeah.
Were you a McEnroe guy or a Connors?
I think I was a McEnroe guy. Definitely. I mean, my attitude on court was not the best, I guess you can say, when I was a junior. A little embarrassed by that, but sort of along the lines of McEnroe. But I was really a Boris Becker and Edberg. I could never serve in volley. I had the worst volleys, probably the horrible serve, but I loved watching Boris Becker and Edberg play.
Edberg was a fan. Yannick Noah was a guy. I was more of a Connors guy than I was.
Yeah.
Brent wants to know if you had any meltdowns like a McEnroe or Jeff Tarango. Anything you guys have had to deal with?
Yeah, I guess you could say that. McEnroe, when he was in the Champions Tour, he was, he had a couple of outbursts, if you will. I don't think I've ever experienced a player getting defaulted though, like Tarango. I've had one player I remember, Donald Young. I think he lost the match and threw his racket outside the stadium, so threw it out of the stadium. I remember that.
That's a nice try.
I think he got fined for that, but and you've had a few meltdowns. Nothing comes to mind as far as what anybody has done, but yeah, definitely. I mean, the anger. I like seeing that. I think the players should be allowed to express a little more. It could be a little too cautious at times, but that's the sport.
Protecting the judges, I guess, maybe a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, if you do run that risk, like Djokovic in the U.S. Open last year when he hit. I mean, obviously he was not aiming to hit the neck of a linesman, but he did. It's unfortunate really unfortunate that happened. But yeah, I mean, just talk about bad luck. It's happened before. Players get mad, they hit the ball, not even looking, and then the ball kid's running to get the ball and it hits the ball kid in the face or something. It's just you got to keep your emotions in check. Or if you're going to hit a ball, I guess make sure you know where you're hitting it.
Yeah.
I can't.
Or don't hit a ball.
The bat, such unlucky. It's very unlucky.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
We talked about fines, and I guess I want to just touch on the Osaka event with the French Open. Any thoughts on that? How did they handle it as a tournament? How did she handle it as a person who kind of knew this was happening?
Yeah, I don't.
Behind the scenes.
Yeah, I mean, it's you have both sides of the story. I really have no opinion on it. I just hope that she's okay, and it's mental health is a serious issue, obviously, and obviously the tournaments. Need to look into it further if there's a growing concern from the players. But her pulling out was very shocking. That's serious to pull out of a major. And obviously, look at the draw; she probably had a very good opportunity to win the tournament. So I just hope everything's okay with her, and any player that's experienced something like that, it's definitely a big issue, mental health.
Yeah. Brent wants to know about fan engagement. What do you guys do to help the interaction? His daughter's starting to play tennis. She's pretty young and doing pretty good for her age. But what kind of interaction do you guys get? Encourage with the fans, or events that actually are all about the interaction?
Yeah, well, we pre-COVID, obviously, now the players can't even do anything, just for fear of God for something. So they're pretty limited to what they can do. So hopefully by next year everything can go back to normal. But we have different events, clinics. We've always had the Bryan Brothers Clinic when they played every year. So people can purchase tickets to play in a clinic featuring the Bryan Brothers. We always have autograph sessions at some of the booths that we have after the matches. The players are very generous at signing autographs. You would hope that if they're walking during the tournament and somebody stops them, that they would stop. And I would say 99% of them will just sit there and sign anything and talk to the fans, take selfies. But as far as that, we always have different events, ladies' luncheons, where we always bring players to meet and greet. So yeah, they're pretty out there as far as being able to meet. And, as you know from the stadium, it's very intimate. So you can get close to the players and ask them for autographs, and they're very nice and really, really receptive.
Do you have a player that you admire now that you would love to have there that hasn't played? I mean, obviously, I'm not, big names, but even just someone on the tour.
That hasn't played?
I'm a fan of Monfils. Whenever I see him play, Gael, I think he's just very entertaining.
Yeah, Monfils, he was supposed to play our tournament, maybe 10 years ago, something like that, and then he got injured. But the problem with Monfils, unfortunately, is there's a same week as ours an event in France, same level tournament in France. So tough to get some of the French players during our event. Let's put it that way. Yeah. But I love Monfils. I mean, just what a talent! What a great guy to watch play. Just you never know what he's going to do. But some of these young guys, there's a lot of young guys now that are coming out. This guy Sinner, Zverev, even like a Medvedev team. There's some really good young players that are coming out and playing. I mean, just starting to take over the tour. Obviously, you still have the three big guys with Federer and Nadal, but and Djokovic, obviously. But there's a lot of young guys that are out there. I mean, even this tournament in French, you have like Rossetti, some guys I've never even seen play, and they're starting to make their mark on the tour.
Wasn't it Musetti who hit those two crazy, but he was in the back shots, and he hurt himself, I think, right? Or
Yeah, he played Djokovic, and ended up losing.
yeah, it's crazy behind the back shots.
Yeah,
It was nuts.
very talented. Yeah, these young guys are so talented, so fast. I mean, just the level of play has risen. So, when we played, it's just unbelievable how fast it is now.
But the men's U.S. has struggled over the years. It's been a while, right? Maybe Roddick. I mean, Isner had a little bit of a run. What's it gonna take to get the U.S. back?
I don't know. I mean, there's so many great tennis players in the United States. It's just there's so many variables that it takes. I mean, it really, it's not just being a great tennis player. There's so many mental aspect of it. Picking, not getting injured. We have some really good, talented young guys in America. Opelka, who won our tournament a couple of years ago, and then you have Stefan Korda, who got to our finals last year. Steph Korda, who's everyone's touting to be like the next guy. His father won a major, and he's very smooth, really good guy. He just won his first ATP tournament right before the French. And then Taylor Fritz. So there's then you have Jack Sock, who's coming, and then he's sort of got injured. He was top 10. Isner's been up there for a while, but it's interesting to see. I mean, it's different. Back in the day, you had Agassi, Sampras, Courier. So it would be nice for some of them some of the USA men to start coming up and competing.
Yeah, we'd like to see. Obviously, you got a couple of women that are young women that are positioned to really be the next wave. Although Osaka's not going anywhere anytime soon, but
yeah.
With Coco and something with an S.
Well, you have the women's, and there's a lot of good, talented USA. Even Kenin, who's won a major already. Sloane Stephens, who's won a major.
Okay.
Sloane and Kenin got to the finals of the French Open here, so she's already won a major. Got to the finals. She's young. Pagula is starting to do really well. And then Jen Brady, who's is she a Florida Gator? I think she's a Gator. Jen Brady. Is she Gator or is she UCLA? I'm not sure. I forget. But there's a lot of American women that are competing and coming through the ranks.
The Gators just won the men's national championship, and their number one player won the singles national championship. So real great to see that.
Oh yeah, that's great. Brian Shelton, great coach. What a great guy. I mean, I'm a Seminole, so but definitely proud of happy for the Gators. A lot of my friends that won the championship back in the day there went up to watch the matches, and really cool to see. At least it's in Florida, right? At least it's not University of Miami, right? At least Miami.
My wife is the king, but she doesn't really care.
Right.
Yeah. Give me your Mount Rushmore of tennis. Give me a men's and a women's. So just you can give 4 of each. Any your favorite or who you think the best are? I
mean, my number one for women's, Steffi Graf, number one. I mean, obviously Serena Williams is, hands down one of the best ever. I still think, I don't know, I have to give the edge to Graf. In my opinion, but it's easy to argue that Serena's number one. So Steffi, watching Steffi play, it was a thing of beauty. So Steffi Graf, Serena Williams, and then I guess you got to go, Martina and Chris Evert. I'm sure I'm missing.
That's a pretty good.
Ellis, could have been amazing, even more than she was if she didn't, unfortunately, have that stabbing injury. She could have won a lot more majors. But and then for the men, I would say, 4. How can you not put Nadal, Federer, and Djokovic on there? But there's so many guys in the past. Borg, Becker, McEnroe. It's tough to just 4, especially with these 3 guys here.
Sampras. Brendan said he thinks they're the best trio in history. It's hard to.
Sampras, I left out Sampras. When Sampras won 14 majors, you're like, no one's ever going to beat that. And now Nadal might have 14 French Opens after this tournament, which is insane. And then Djokovic. I still think Djokovic personally will win the most majors out of Nadal and Federer.
Really?
Federer will be the third. He'll be behind, which is unbelievable to even think that Federer would be the third most majors.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Djokovic will go down as the best in history. But he's got every surface, every game, every shot.
Yeah, it's crazy to think of someone like Andy Murray, who was a great player, who just at the wrong time he couldn't to beat.
And he's won. What did he win? He won 3 majors, but he's got finals of how many?
Federer's my favorite of the trio. I root for him whenever he goes.
100%. Federer is one of my favorites of all time. I mean, just the way he plays. It's just watching him play is unbelievable. I mean, it's effortless. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I always think about who would be. I have this conversation with my friends all the time. Like, who would you rather not play? Djokovic, Federer, or Nadal? And I think everyone says Nadal. I think everyone says I would not want to play Nadal because it would just he'd be so grueling to have to play against him. But
what do you think about the tennis Olympics? Is it as exciting as the majors, or is it below it? I mean,
That's a good question. I don't know. I mean, it's every 4 years. Ever since they took out the amateur out of the Olympics, I don't know if people can say it's not really what it is anymore. But I know the players would love to win it. So they have that gold ball. It's only every 4 years, as we know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one thing I think Federer's never won is a gold ball or gold medal. He's won doubles gold medal at the Olympics, but never won the singles. So if he does play, this will be probably his last chance to win that gold.
Yeah, it'll be interesting without fans in the stands too.
Yeah.
This is. I mean, everyone's keeping quiet anyway, right? You're not cheering.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you ask any tennis player if they'd rather win the Olympics or Wimbledon, I'd be very hard pressed for them to say Olympics rather than Wimbledon.
It's weird. It's weird.
Yeah, I mean, can you name the last 4 U.S. Olympic champions, the men's or the women's? But I'm sure most people can name the last Wimbledon champion. It's interesting.
It's a weird thing because you think there's nothing better than representing. I think the experience of just being there is something that people would hold close to, as like top memories, as opposed to like winning it and say, hey, I'd like to be there and play and enjoy the environment and then go win a Wimbledon or a French Open. We'll let you out of here on the same question we ask everyone. You can pick anyone you want to spend a day with. They have to be living. You can't be related to them. Who are you going to pick? What do you want to do with them? And it doesn't have to be tennis, but it could be. I've got a running list going. I've already made some outreach to try and make this happen for some of our guests. And who do you got?
Oh my God, oh gosh, I can be with anybody or spend the day with anybody.
Yeah, it could be an athlete. It could be. I mean, we've had Obama, Trump, Oprah, Elon Musk.
Yeah,
all of that.
Oh my gosh,
tennis player too.
God, that's a tough question. I wish you asked me that. You told me you were going to ask me that before.
I don't tell anyone.
I mean, I'd like to say, Roger Federer and hang out with him for the day, but then I could say easily like a golf legend and play golf with it. Does Federer play golf? I don't know. I'd like to play golf with him for the day. I don't know.
Jordan, you could play golf and basketball and maybe some baseball too.
Yeah, Jordan. Or maybe like Richard Branson, and talk to him about some investment.
Well, if you have to pick one, what are you going to do?
I would probably, I guess, I'm a tennis guy, so I would probably say, hang out with Federer. I don't know if that's the most exciting answer.
Who wouldn't want to hang out with Roger Federer?
Yeah, or maybe even Agassi. I don't know. I was a huge Agassi fan, but
have you met Agassi?
Well, he played our event when he was last in the tours last year. So I mean, he doesn't know who I am, but I have a picture with him, flipping the coin at our tournament, and he was talk about a mensch. He was amazing, really, really good guy. I mean, amazing guy. But
we'll put Federer on the list. Check out yellowtennisball.com for more information about the Delray Beach Open by Vitacost.com. You say tickets around August?
Yeah, the tickets, you go on the yellowtennisball.com. If anyone's interested in tickets or group sales or anything like that, they can always, contact us. Our series of tickets are on sale right now. So, different series specials we have for the whole week or the weekend, finals weekend, stuff like that. But any interest, you can always contact us now, get it going before the tournament starts. But I appreciate, having me, Matt.
Great to catch
keep
up.
doing what you're doing. Good luck with everything. Making a difference one person at a time.
Oh, we're trying. I forgot that one last question. I forgot to ask, what percent of the attendees are out of the U.S. or out of Florida?
We have a good amount that come and travel because it's a destination. It's during the season. So there, I would say, probably 25%. With a lot of Canadians. A lot of people that have homes here that come for the winter. But it's an international event, so we're bringing everybody into Delray, into the city of county of Palm Beach. But I would say probably about 25%. We'll
spread this internationally. Great to talk to you. I hope to be a part of the 30th anniversary, and looking forward to being there. We got Brent, and him and his daughter will be there too. So we'll
tell Brent to give me a call.
As much support as we can.
Yes. Okay.
We'll talk soon. Enjoy the rest of the French Open.
Thanks, Matt. Take care, man. Be good. Bye.